about ensuring that इसमें से कुछ नहीं मिस होगा. And I'll give you the example of what ruthlessness really means. I've picked up a few questions like from geography. Okay, you guys are एक बार NCERT geography के लोगों ने पढ़ रखी है क्या? मतलब are you familiar with geography? मोटा मोटा. You guys are right. So I'll take you through two PYQs, 2 or 3 PYQs, and I'll take you through the whole system of how a ranker works, basically, and how we work at CD when we try to bring these things. It should make sense to you. Okay, so I want yeses. If you have any doubt, please feel free to put on chat. सवाल इतना सिंपल आया था कि there is a place in India from which 2 rivers originate. One goes, meets another river, and finally goes to Bay of Bengal. The other river goes to the Arabian Sea. Simple question. The dimension here asked is origin of the river. Okay. Like when I read this question, when a ranker who's doing a PYQ analysis of this question in 2010, he thinks, okay, ये सवाल ना origin of river से related है. Simple. And only 3 questions. Should I attempt it? Should I guess it? Or should I skip it? These are the only 3 questions which come to you. Now, if you have to attempt this question, then या तो you have to remember the fact. ठीक है, and you have to ask yourself, why would I remember the fact? मैं क्यों याद करूंगा कि there is a point in India from which 2 rivers originate, one flows to the north, joins another river, goes to the Bay of Bengal, another goes to the Arabian Sea. Why would I remember that? Okay, people who are not able to comprehend ना, just hold your horses, अभी सब कुछ clear होगा. Now answer is simple. ठीक है, answer अमरकंटक है, it's a religious place वगैरह वगैरह, but the funda is that why would you remember this? There is very little chance to eliminate options here. ठीक है, I can tell you the if you have to guess the answer, उसका बस एक या 2 ऑप्शन एलिमिनेट कर सकते हो आप. बद्रीनाथ, वो वैसे भी एकदम नॉर्थ में, वहां से कोई रिवर निकलेगी और नॉर्थ में जाएगी, किसी रिवर से मिलेगी और फिर बे ऑफ बंगाल में आएगी. स्लिम चांसेस है. देयर इज अ रिस्क, बट इफ यू आर पुश टू द वॉल, दैट्स वन एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक यू कैन यूज. सिमिलरली यू कैन एलिमिनेट नासिक. नासिक महाराष्ट्र में, आपको पता है, if there is a river which meets another river and then goes to Bay of Bengal, which basically means it's kind of divides India into 2. It's a big deal. You would have heard about this. It's a fairly big deal. It's like a big feature which is dividing a geography into 2. ठीक है, बड़ी बात है, छोटी बात नहीं. तो आप 2 eliminate कर सकते हो with some degree of risk, and then you can do an inky pinky ponky and take a chance. So point 1, elimination tricky है. Point 2, यार इंडिया में इतनी कितनी places होती हैं where the one place has 2 river origins. ठीक है, and if you would have done some static पढ़ाई इसकी, तो आपको दिखेगा कि अमरकंटक है एक जगह, then there are some hills, महादेव hills, सप्तशृंगी hill, ब्रह्मगिरी hills. These are hills. ठीक है, मतलब लंबे geographical features है. Okay, not one point. So आपको ये याद रह जाएगा. Chances are that you might remember these things, but still it's slim. But if you've been reading current affairs supplemented with your static पढ़ाई, and you would know कि काफी टाइम से 2009 की बात है, काफी टाइम से अमरकंटक की बहुत बात चल रही थी न्यूज में. इट वाज फर्स्ट डिक्लेयर्ड एज अ नेशनल हेरिटेज साइट, एंड देन देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ टॉक अबाउट डिक्लेयरिंग इट इन द मैन एंड बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व प्रोग्राम. Second and third point will combine to ensure that you are in the know of this place. And जब आप पढ़ाई कर रहे होते, when you're reading, and if this is recurring in the news, and also it is one of the interesting trivia which spikes, interesting trivia which has a unique feature, there are chances that you would remember it. Am I making sense? Everyone who's on this webinar, is this way of approach making sense to you? Yeah, Purnima ma'am would have discussed this in SM. But is this approach making sense to you? Because this is how ruthless prioritization of a micro theme actually works. PYQ analysis is not about कि PYQ कर लो and उस टॉपिक के सारे PYQ एक साथ पकड़ लो, उसके बाद उनके सारे ऑप्शंस के बारे में भी इंफॉर्मेशन और जुगाड़ लो. That is just increasing more and more information and workload for you. PYQ analysis is for 2 things. One, what were the odds that I could have solved this question if I were preparing in that year? What were the odds? And the odds can only come from 2 pillars. One, the fact which is asked in that question, is it something interesting? Does it have a USP which is, out of the box? Second, was it in news in that year and the year before and the year before? If these 2 things are there, then it should be in your notes. Third, can I guess it? And like I told you, the guessing probability in this is very less. Guys, switch on your videos here. We are what? How many folks here? 156. If you want me to repeat or if you want me to go deeper into I should be able to see your faces. Great. Just this. I have 160 folks on this webinar and I can only see. UAP के students तो please यार. You should all switch on your cameras. You're going to see more of me for the whole year now. You're going to see videos like this as a part of your course and curriculum. I should be able to, have your faces memorized. How many questions could be attempted on the lines of this approach? I'm not attempting the question. I'm just trying to tell you that this is how you need to be a Sherlock Holmes for your prelims. Okay. This makes sense, right? The question came. I'll give another question. Let's take another one. And just to complete the loop on this one, now in 2025, when you're sitting and you're analyzing this question with me or by yourself, the last thing which we do at Dominate or CD is this. Then we make a table of all the places in India where there are two river origins. Okay. And we try to see if there's another line of significance which is added on in this year. Okay. So this is the table which then forms part of your notes. Amarkantak, 3 river originate होती हैं. Johila is a very small river, so you would not have heard about it. And then you will get to know about the significance. This way of studying increases your chance of ensuring that anything which is on micro theme you would not miss. अगर आप ऐसे नहीं पढ़ रहे हो ना, then you are banking a lot on your memory and that won't serve you. So this is the ruthless prioritization ka exhibit A. Let's get another example. This question came again sometime around 2010. And by the way, we've done this for all the questions. Okay, so for most of the questions, we've done this. Like this is how we analyze to make notes for you guys. With reference to the river Luni, which one of the following statements is correct? The correct answer is D. This river actually gets lost in the marshy lands of Rann of Kutch. On the face of it, again, I see that, okay, one of the dimension which UPSC asks about for the river is origin of the river and end of the river. तो मैं अगर इंडिया के रिवर्स के बारे में पढ़ रहा हूँ, I should be able to know about their origins and where do they finally meet. This is simple. ठीक है. Second, seasonality of river. I have some idea कि यार मुझे ना seasonality के बारे में पढ़ना है. अभी मैंने notes भी नहीं बनाए हैं. I'm just thinking through it. Now let me take you to the ranker's mindset. इसमें तो कोई एलिमिनेशन का चांस नहीं है या है? Does anyone here having any elimination technique for this? देख लो आराम से. If you can think of any way you can eliminate to get even 50% correct answer तो बताओ. Type it out. C क्या होता है? Give me a reason how you will eliminate. Option 3 can be eliminated. Okay. But that would still not give you enough confidence to actually attempt this in the exam, right? We're talking about actual exam like environment. Okay. This is peacetime. Exam में, if you are down and you've already passed, half the time of the exams, there is no way you're going to be able to take risks like these. Okay. So when a ranker thinks and sits about, वो कहता है elimination पे तो I will not be able to go. Let me see if there was any chance that I would be studying about seasonal river apart from just basic study. Luni River was in news from 2006. Not just for कि वो seasonal river and it dries out, but also because बाड़मेर region में enough textile industries हैं जिसके pollution ने इस river की बैंड बजा दी थी. And if you would read, और ये अभी तक है, this is still ongoing, right? 2018 में NGT declares Luni's water unfit for irrigation. This river used to be like the life of that region. Okay, as an aspirant, if you want to understand the unseen factors of anything, no, you would actually be able to. You should be going back in the context. ये अभी तक चल रहा है इस river के issues. So this is a seasonal river which dries out. It doesn't flow. And that's the reason why 2006, 2008, 9, this question got into the UPSC in 2010. Am I making sense? Yeah, C option you can eliminate, but like you still cannot answer the question. But this is the core of this question, right? I'm making sense, right, to everyone. I can very easily tell you that, oh, yeah, this is an easy information. You can Google it and you will retrieve it. Yeah, this will be a textbook, but then that doesn't help you because there's no way you're going to remember it unless you have some kind of a trail given by an academy or a ranker or anyone. Ki, yaar, study seasonal rivers which are in news for more than one reason. Okay, and what do you do after doing this? You do this. You make notes or take notes where we talk about more such seasonal rivers. Obviously, सबकी सब North India में ही होंगी, correct? And you try to see do they have any recent news significance. अगर नहीं है, then the probability of that coming into the exam goes down. See, clearing prelims is all about optimizing and maximizing your efforts, right? I can give you 500 pages to read, but that will not help you. You cannot say that I can tell you सब कुछ यहाँ से आ जाएगा इन 500 पन्नों से, but that won't help you, right? So I have to give you a strategy which maximizes your, ROI, right? The return on investment. When we say incorrect option must also be analyzed, if you may please. I'm not going there. Incorrect options. So that is, if you start analyzing incorrect options, essentially you're creating more work for yourself. You can do that if you want to. There's nothing wrong in that. फिर तो आप उसे बाल की खाल निकालना कहते हैं ना हिंदी में. आप इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शंस की भी थ्योरी पढ़ लो, फिर करेक्ट की भी पढ़ लो, फिर जिस इंस्टीट्यूट, I'll tell you how you can make things tough for yourself. So this is the question on Amarkantak. Now I can ask you, hey, you know what? Amarkantak pe sawal hai. It's actually the king of pilgrimage site and it's situated in the Maikal mountain range. Now, why don't you make notes of all important religious sites in India? Do that and none would be the wiser, right? Versus if I tell you, dude, like there is just one place in India जहाँ से दो rivers से दो से ज़्यादा rivers निकलती हैं, which is like one single place. बाकी are hills and ranges. So if you have such trivias about geographical features in India, just keep a tab on that. Add to that, if it has come in recent news, please, it has a higher probability. This is only about increasing your probability of getting that in the exam, nothing else. ठीक है, so you can go and research on the options and in fact कभी कभी आप ऐसे वाले भी कनेक्शन बना सकते हो कि उस साल कॉकरोच पे आ गया था सवाल, फिर कॉकरोच के ऑप्शन में बटरफ्लाई का नाम था तो बटरफ्लाई का भी आ गया, but then this is like unending. You can keep doing that and those are hacks which are untenable. Now so that's the part of second part, which is ruthless prioritization. ठीक है, now with those two things in place, coming back to the NCRT in Lakshmikant that you were talking about. So level 1 is prioritize these 33 pages of Lakshmikant, which are about the hot topics, the micro themes, which have the most number of questions. You'll get all of that, by the way, on the platform. Okay. Level 2 would be prioritizing the flash notes. So you'll get flash notes as part of the program, but flash notes are nothing but an engineer's dream made true by us to consolidate those infinite pages into tables. Somehow an engineer believes that everything in life can be solved if we can put it into a formula or a table. That's it. So we've done that, right? So all those pages of fundamental rights and duties and the important articles, we've crunched them in simple pages. These notes, by the way, are also available for free. So you don't have to join the program for these notes. They're available for free. इसका download link या तो team दे देगी या you can ping and ask for us. But this is level 2. Level 3 is obviously now your own handwritten notes. So what happens is that when students come to us and they say, Animesh ke notes de do one pager, ya Aditya Pandey ke notes de do, ya fir give us the notes of Sri Lakshmi, who's just recently cleared the ranks and amazing one pager she has. What you're missing on is the whole drill which I took you through. Only and only if you do the step 1, step 2, and you go through the notes, will you be able to make your own one-pager notes, which will actually stay with you and stand the test of time when you actually are writing prelims. Otherwise, you're just collecting information. Beautiful, highlighted, single pages, which may or may not help you in the exam. I mean, anyone's guess then. Okay. Third, and this is very simple, and if you've been part of our programs and we're anal about mentorship to a level that we give weekly targets. If a student thinks कि mentor ने enough call लेके उसको pressurize नहीं किया तो student ही बोलता है कि सर नहीं पढ़ पा रहा हूँ, just hellfire on me, make me study in some way or the other, right? So feedback loops are very important. The biggest feedback loop is you attempting mock. but honest to God, we've only seen 10% of the students attempt mocks. I don't know if you know how many of you guys actually do attempt, but that's the litmus test. If you're attempting the mocks, you're getting feedback on a weekly level, you're improving. It's as simple as it gets. Everything else is gyan and theory. The way to have a good feedback is attempt mocks, sit with us, get why you're lacking something, and then we'll be able to give you the right notes, or we'll be able to direct you to the right information, the right package, so that you can cover that base. ठीक है, इसमें और कुछ ज्ञान नहीं है. This feedback loop must be there. Animesh, you would have known, was writing tests from day one. Bad answers, but from day one, which he kept on improving week after week till finally he wrote answers, and his mains marks were interview proof. उसके इंटरव्यू में 175 आए थे, विच इज बिलो एवरेज फॉर हिज ईयर. उसके 50 नंबर भी कम आते ना, 125 आते ना, तो भी उसकी टॉप 20 रैंक थी. दैट्स हाउ डैम गुड हिज मेंस प्रिपरेशन वाज. और 125 नहीं आते, मतलब you have to be like very bad to qualify mains and then get 125 in interview. Okay, this is something which we've seen a lot of students do, a lot of, in fact, the good ones do. There's a lot of excessive self-criticism which happens, and that happens mainly because you don't know the process which I just took you through. You only see a one-pager note of a ranker, and when you compare your day one notes with those one-pager notes, or when you compare your day one answers with those final answers for ranker, there's a huge gap. I mean, if that is what you are comparing, then obviously you will be correct in criticizing yourself. But that's what you should not do. You should trust your mentor that you're going on the right path. ठीक है, ये जितना प्रोसेस है ना, ये जो यहां से शुरू हुआ था, this is the unseen. This is a huge part of the unseen. If you are doing this, trust me, you would be nodding a yes. किसी ने किया है ये प्रोसेस यहाँ पे? Anyone from within the CD ecosystem or outside who's done this level of PYQ analysis? Bobby Kumari, I'll put you on the spot. Really? It's great if you've done it. Isha in some chapters. Awesome. So those of you who've done this, you would exactly know the heart of what I'm talking about. Okay? When you go by this, life becomes very simple. Then you don't need any gyan. You do not need to watch those videos which are like 6 things you will miss, 7 things if you're eating it wrong, you'll also not clear your prelims, and all those other, BuzzFeed type news items, which sometimes you're also guilty of carrying through. But I'm just saying that this is what you need to do. Okay? Yeah, it's good. 87 in polity. Okay, so we're here. And feedback loops, avoid excessive self-criticism, and the last thing, exam temperament. I can safely say that we've been hearing about this thing from time immemorial, जब से हम स्कूल के एग्जाम्स दे रहे हैं या कोई भी एग्जाम्स दे रहे हैं, right? So this is one of those fuzzy point which most of the people will say like, yeah, everyone knows you need to have a good exam temperament. The point is that we are not able to have it, and just saying this thing doesn't make it happen, right? Whenever people tell you that, you be positive, you should shove it up, because it doesn't happen like that. You can't just be positive by saying that be positive. I'll tell you the cost of not having the right temperament, so that then you can think of your own ways of having it right. Each of you will be suffering from something unique to themselves, right? So I'll just tell you what exactly happens when you don't have a level head, and I'll give you 2 examples of questions, and that's the best way I can make it easy for you guys. And then you guys will write on the chat your own hacks to get into the right calm mind. Cool, let's go. Like I said, you know that one of the famous micro themes of prelims history is Buddhism and Jainism, right? There is no person here worth his salt or her salt in UPSC prep who would not have heard कि यार Buddhism, Jainism ढंग से कर लो, right? Anyone here who thinks it's easy to miss this topic? No, I guess. The first question is an easy one. Okay? It's a very easy question. Correct? What happens with such topics is that you've heard about these topics from me, from rankers, from everyone under the sun preparing for UPSC, that it builds an internal pressure. That when a typical or tough question comes from this topic, you feel like you owe it to UPSC to attempt it. You feel like that if you come out of the exam hall and you've not attempted a Buddhism question, people will be like, फिर क्या पढ़ा तुमने? And in doing that, 2 things happen. One, sometimes you realize that this actually might be the toughest topic or toughest question in this exam. And second, you will apply a very vague and weird and one of a kind elimination technique, which will definitely, make the question go nuts and you lose extra marks when you should have avoided it. This is what happens. So मैत्री वाला example जो है, there is no way. So either you know this fact or not, but there is no way you can link मैत्री to a future friend, right? Which among of these is future Buddha? मैत्री basically is friendship. There is no way you can connect friendship to future. मैं ज्ञान दे सकता हूँ, but then I'll be a master salesman and I'll be lying. ठीक है? Such questions have to be left. People who have a level head in the exam, they leave such questions, even if it's coming from the heart-wrenching topic like Buddhism. You guys will easily leave a science and tech question if you have not heard of the term, right? If there's a technology you've not heard about, you'll not feel bad about yourself to leave it, right? You will not. Or if there's an obscure medieval historical term about इस सेनापति का उस किंग के रीन में नाम क्या था, like who cares? You would easily know कि कोई भी नहीं कर पाएगा. But on these questions, if you don't have a level head, you'll end up attempting it. You'll end up doing it wrong. Are you with me on this? Or can you guess it? Can anyone guess the answer, like, even with the benefit of hindsight? Nahi, chalo, safe. I picked up the right question. Some of the questions you might want to guess, but if you have a calmer head, you'll skip them. This is the one, like the Buddha question. Even if it's an NCERT, unless you know the fact, then you attempt, otherwise you just ignore it.